Yeah, you sound like a real trader now, Tyson. Yeah, you sound like a real trader now.
You know, my list goes on. Only one stock right now. You know, I got a list of about 20 trends that are, at least half of them are poised to continue. So I just had shit, I don't have it in here. Let me go ahead. So just one or two things to wrap up with you guys before we kind of get out of here and shit like that. One of them was bro, I'm in the shadows. So everybody's basically gonna be like earnings traders. I'm not trading earnings. And I can't change my strategy around to fit earnings. I just have to keep riding, you know, taking the signals, keep riding the waves, and maybe I might. Yeah, me too, Cole. I can't worry about earnings. I can only trade the price. I can only trade the trend. Maybe some of those earnings might go in my favor.
Yeah, I'm basically just reading about the Thinkorswim page right now. I'm just trying to get a hold of everything.
What Thinkorswim page?
For the TOS account that you told me to make.
Oh yeah, TOS. That was Stock Guy.
Oh, that was Stock Guy.
Yeah, but yeah, you should do that, man. Start that Thinkorswim. Get used to how the stocks actually trade.
I know. I think I'm only got like 2 months. So if I start tomorrow, I could probably start tomorrow because the library won't open up till about 12. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. I register, start that account up tomorrow and try it out.
Yeah, you'll need that. I never traded paper though. I always traded cash.
It's my way to work up the trading cash though. That'll give me 2 months to learn strat.
Yeah, even if you started with $20 or $30, at least it will get you used to like the way trade stocks are supposed to be trading, bought and sold and shit like that, you know?
Yeah. At least I will get to know more about it.
Back test. There's some little criteria, so I just wanted to touch on one or two things before we kind of close up the night. So practicing your craft. 3 home runs out of 10 pitches, and follow the leader. Practicing your craft kind of speaks for itself. It's like, you know, whatever trading process you use or that you have, rather you're trading the 1% spread, or rather you're trading breakouts, or, you know, whatever patterns and such forth. My trading process is pretty simple and cut simple and dry. But whatever process that is, I think it's important that people kind of learn to practice your craft and kind of perfect your craft. Because then you'll get to a point in your trading to where you can't be fooled that much. You just can't be fooled that much. And things are less more of like things are less like a trick, you know. Sometimes when you're inside of life and you're looking at everything, and sometimes everything looks like a trick. So you kind of, when you start to regulate your process and you start to get used to your process, things start to look less of a trick and more evident, and you start getting more conviction inside of taking signals and trades and this and that, because from whatever process you use, you kind of know the ins and outs of what to expect and what not to expect. And I know I always expect the unexpected in trading. I know that much. I know to always expect the unexpected. All right, I know that. I'm talking about when you have a process that works, it just works. Now here you are in a room with about 20, 30, 40 different traders, and all of us have a different process, most of us. And all of us have conviction inside that process. So practicing your craft. Practicing your craft is like, how do you think Bruce Lee, how do you think Kevin Hart, which are two totally different, Michael Jordan, some of the best traders in the world, Bruce Kovner, Paul Tudor Jones, how do you think they got to be so great? You know? How do you think those greats got to be so great, so well known at what they do? Trading's all about practicing. Trading is all about practice. My opinion.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, practice makes perfect. That's even in the trading world. Even in the trading world, you need to practice, 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 practice. Now, I'm not saying...
That's like everything in life right there.
Yeah, everything in life. That's why I was talking about those you know, those wealthy, those successful guys, so to speak. Because all they did was practice. I mean, Jordan's known as the best ball player in the world. I was listening to a cast on Trend Following from Michael Covell. He was talking about how Richard Dennis and some of the original turtle traders started. Well, Richard Dennis was the Chicago pitch trader. He had a buddy named William Eckhart. And they didn't think trading could be taught. But Richard Dennis was like a sort of like a trend follower, so to speak. But so they made an ad in the newspaper, and they, you know, got some replies on this ad, and the ad was saying, you know, hey, I can teach these traders it doesn't matter your race or what creed or what you have, what kind of school you went to, just taking basically random people, teaching him his trading strategy, which if you break it down was basically trend following. But teaching all these people his trading strategy, taught Jerry Parker, taught a bunch of people, Ed Sykota, taught a bunch of people, right? And some of those traders that Richard Dennis taught in that newspaper ad, and some of the people that were taught coming down from that newspaper ad are some of the best traders in the world today. Ed Sykota is from that branch of turtle trading. I mean, all the trend followers basically are using some of that turtle trading. But so I just say that because how did those turtle traders and so the ad was made in the newspaper, people responded to the ad, and then that's how the whole turtle trader story began. Alright? But Ed Sykota came from that turtle trading branch, and a lot of the trend followers came from there. Bruce Kovner, Paul Tudor Jones, some of these guys are billionaires and millionaires, but some of them are billionaires. I'm not talking about Timothy Sykes money. Some of these guys are well over $100 million. Alright? But how did they get there was from practice. And they were practicing on a strategy they had. None of these people knew anything about trading. They were just people off the streets that were replying to like a newspaper ad. And of course he put the ad in like a place where stockbrokers go apply for jobs at brokerages and stuff like that. Of course. But these people learn Richard Dennis's strategy, his process that he taught them, and they became the turtle traders. And like I said, from that became trend following, and there's a lot of people that are still around from that original turtle trading, like Jerry Parker is from that original turtle trading movement. He's a hedge fund manager, well over $100 billion. So, just saying. But so I just say that because a process, a successful process can be learned. A trading process can be learned, and you have to practice on your craft. And your craft is whatever process that you're trading. It's like Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee wasn't the best karate man ever. Karate man, that sounds fucking stupid. He wasn't the best martial artist. He wasn't the great martial artist that he was when he was, just starting. He had to practice and learn to become the greatest martial artist of all time. Some of that is some emotional intelligence, some emotional strength, so to speak. I don't know, you agree? But practice makes perfect, just like with anything.
Yeah, I agree.
Practice makes perfect. And I guess you can look at some of the greatest people in whatever, and some of the most successful sportmen and musicians and politicians and some of the greatest entertainers and such forth known today, and kind of just look at them and say, well, I don't know, did they practice to get where they are? And of course they did.
Well, oh yeah, they did.
Of course they practiced to get where they're at. So practice, practice is the key. Even in trading, that even boils over to trading. So practice thy craft. Work thy craft. Study thy craft. Work thy craft. Alright? That was my one major point I wanted to cover tonight, was just study thy craft.
Alright.
And whatever craft, like I said, it's just like a football team. There's 50 different positions, both offensive and defensive put together. There's like 50 different positions. And, just like the stock market, there's 100 different ways to approach the market to profit from it. But once you decide what way that you're going to approach the market, once you decide on your approach to the market, and it will all make sense to you once you shuffle through, once you trade cash and trade here a little bit and trade there, then you'll kind of get this light. Huh? It's hard to understand me.
Yeah.
It's hard to understand me. It's hard to understand me?
No, I said start understanding.
Oh, you're starting to understand what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like once you start trading, you'll kind of figure out, you'll be like, no, that's not for me. You'll be like, oh yeah, this fits me. And whatever one fits you, you'll know which one fits. But whatever one fits, and I found out which one fits me. It's trend following. But whatever one fits you, you just want to kind of sit there. You kind of just want to dwell there. You kind of just want to start practicing there. You might want to kind of adopt that whole whatever approach to the market, because like I said, there's 100 different ways to approach the market. You can approach it from a trend following aspect. You can approach it from a swing trading aspect. You can approach it from a day trading aspect. You can approach it from a short selling aspect. You can approach it from a long bias aspect.
Day trading or short trading?
Day trading. Yeah, those are the most attractive trading strategies. Those are the most attractive trading strategies. Which brings me to another point of my criteria I wanted to touch on here. I don't know, you guys. I think we might be some of the only. I'm not going to say some of the only people, but I think there's a handful of people, possibly. Wait a second. Let me grab something. I think that we're some of the only people on the planet. There may be a handful of people. I think we're some of the only people out of a handful of people on the planet that are discussing stocks every Saturday night. But I think discussing stocks is paramount, especially if you're someone who wants to fire your boss and kind of somebody who wants to not follow the leader. If you look at my criteria up there, I've got 3 kind of like subjects up there.
Right.
No, I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to everybody in general. I'm just speaking now. I'm talking to you too, but I'm talking to everybody in general. So I got 3 subjects up there. Practicing your craft. We just touched on that. We just touched on how Bruce Lee. We just touched on all the great people you could think about. How the fuck did they get there? They got there by studying their fucking craft. By practicing their craft. So we just touched on that. Now we're going to touch on... I'll get to the 3 home runs out of 10 pitches, and that's kind of evident. That's really evident. 3 home runs out of 10 pitches. That's really evident. We'll talk about that. But I just kind of got brought in to follow the leader, because a lot of times when traders start their trading career, they want to just kind of play follow the leader, which is understood. Which makes a lot, which is understood. And it's just not in trading, it's everywhere in the world. People play follow the leader. A lot of people think that they need to get a good job and retire and such forth. Which is okay. Which is okay. But can you really expect to grow wealthy? Can you expect to create wealth? Can you expect to have a good life if you just follow the leader and you just go get a job and retire and have a family and pa? If you go get a job and, you know, work a basic 9 to 5, you're kind of stuck in that whole paycheck to paycheck thing, which can be quite tormentive. Which I think that's part of the reason why I think we have a lot of like-minded people in here. A lot of people in here because they want to take charge of their own life. They want to do things sort of like by themselves. Yeah, thanks, Cole. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. We're self-educating ourselves here. That's the other thing. That's the way I feel about trend following, and the way I feel about my process, and the way I feel about trading. But the way I look at my process and the way I look at trend following, if anyone goes to my YouTube, I have stocks on there that we've been following for 20 points plus. That I said, hey you guys, today's May 3rd. I'm going to show you guys this stock. I like an entry at $7.50 with a stop at $6.50. $1 worth of buffer space. But stay long on this trend and hold it until we can make an absolute return. An absolute return in the market is when you make all the money that you can make. Some hedge fund managers don't, some traders don't want it, some traders don't want to trade for an absolute return. Some traders want to trade less risk adverse, which is of course less profit adverse. But some traders are trading for an absolute return. I think everybody in this room is trading for an absolute return. And an absolute return is making how much money you can absolutely make return back to you in the market. So when I look at my strategy, I can teach it to 100 people. I can teach it to my kids right now. And then in 5 and maybe, you know, 4, 5, 6 years, they'll probably know everything about trend following, my strategy, and more. But I feel sorry and I feel bad for the follow the leader people, because I feel bad for all the people that go, I feel bad for all the formal education people. And I feel good about the self-education people. The formal education people are the people that say, let me go get this doctorated degree, let me go get this, that, and the third, which is okay. I agree. For someone that feels that they want to do something that they love, quote unquote, that they want to do. Like, if no one loved being a doctor, then who would help all the people that need help, sickness-wise and health-wise? So everybody has their place. But I think society itself is failing in the aspect of leadership, in the aspect of business owners, and the aspect of people that are willing to take charge. I think we have too many people that want to go find a job, and too many people that just want to be basic. We don't have enough people that want to create jobs. We have too many people that want to go get jobs and apply for jobs and go to school to go get jobs. I told my kids, never go to school to go get a job. Always go to school to create jobs, to learn how to create jobs, to learn how to create. Never go to school to learn how to be a better slave. So I feel good for the formal education. I feel bad for the formal education that will make you a living, but real good for the self-educated people. Like I said on this thing many times, you can, I forget the saying all the time. I forget the saying, teach a man how to fish, he'll trade himself forever or some shit like that, But we're not teaching anyone how to fish. We're beyond that. That's the thing about trading. You just don't want to learn it for yourself. That's why a process is so important. That's why not bouncing back and forth is so important. Because you need a process. You need a process that can be taught. Not taught, but understood. But taught and understood. You need a process. So self-educate yourselves. Don't formal educate yourselves. Self-education, in my opinion, when I look at trend following, I say this right here, I can eat myself. I can thrive off of this for years to come. Once I create enough wealth, I can fire my boss. Facts. I feel really comfortable in that. I feel really, sometimes people, like I told you guys last week when I told the whole spiel about my daughter and her about testing people's weight. Like, go ahead, test their weight, baby. See what kind of weight they got on their words. They're not going to teach you this in school because school is like a slave camp. It's like a slave camp. It's like a slave. What are the camp that the fucking Nazis put the Jews in? It's like a fucking. That's where, not a ghetto. It's a fucking concentration camp. School is like a fucking concentration camp, right? If you're not playing follow the leader and you're looking at the world for what it really is, because people that play follow the leader, they don't really look at the world for what it should be looked at. They kind of look at the world in like this stupid ass this really confused state of being. They never really look at the world for what it actually is. That's why I'm exposing all the follow the leader people right now. All the formal education people. And for all you formal education parents that are raising follow the leader children, shame on you. Fucking shame on you. Shame on you. For raising more followers, not raising leaders. It's like if you look at poverty out in society, it's like, I'm pretty sure half the people that look regular driving cars, and you see homeless people, I'm sure half the people that they want to help. everyone they could help. Some of these people have really good fucking souls, hearts and stuff, but you can't fucking help anyone if you don't have the money to help anyone. You're living paycheck to paycheck. How are you going to help anybody? You can't. It's impossible. You can't help somebody without putting yourself behind. Right? That's what follow the leader gets you. Okay? And I'm starting to lose people. I'm looking inside the audience thing. And I'm starting to lose people. I'm sorry. People are leaving now. Some of those guys are probably followers, or they're raising followers. I'm sorry about that, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. You know what? Fuck off. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry about that. I'm really not sorry about that. Because you're a fucking follower and you're weak. That's fucked up, man. That society's so fucking weak that all they raise is a bunch of fucking sheep. No fucking warriors. Like, no one that wants to, like, when I look at the world and I like feel like I'm like, come on, bitch, I'll take you on head on right now my fucking self. Like, I'm not someone who like cowers in a corner. I'm like, ah! Like, I never do that. I'm always looking at the world like, bring it, bitch. Like, I want to help everyone that I can. But you can't help everyone if you're living paycheck to paycheck, because you're putting if you help someone, like, you put yourself behind. You're like, you have to choose between, like, should I give this man money or should I buy myself lunch at work today? See that? That's that bullshit. That's that following mentality. That's where you get when you follow. Yeah, let me go get a job, go to school for fucking 5 years and get a job. Fuck all of that. Society is like failing itself, so to speak, because it's raising slaves. It's not raising people that can actually, like, help society, so to speak. All right. Yeah, facts, Cole. Yeah, nah, not the sheep shit. Be a wolf, man. Be a fucking wolf. Be a wolf, man. And I know it's hard because, like, as soon as we end the show and people go back to their normal lives, like, the world is pushing the sheep mentality. They're like, oh, no, you're good. Just be a sheep. Yeah, no, fuck that. Fuck everything Tyson said. Just fuck that. Just be a sheep. Be like us. And you got guys who are like, yeah, be a sheep. Be like us, dude. And you're like, wait. Tyson was just saying that we were just talking about on Stocktalk how that if I do this, how it could be really risky, I heard a saying, and I was listening to Michael Hovell and Trent Fallen Reno, and it had a saying that said, the people, this is how let me tell you something about risk, right? This may even break some of the bad traders from the good traders, and some of the shitty people versus some of the significant people, because when you look at risk, people look at risk as like, oh my god, like, if I take a risk, I'm gonna die. Like, why take a risk? Like, I can kill myself. Like, I'd rather die than take a risk. Like, wait a second. You need to take fucking risks to do anything in life. What the fuck are you talking about? It's the same thing with the traders that are scared of risk. I'm not saying risk your whole fucking account and blow it up. I'm saying people that know you need to take risks to be anywhere in life. The person that said, no, I'm not going to take a risk on that. I'm just going to go work for fucking Joe Schmo, because it's real safe over here. I don't want to risk that. I don't want to risk being my own boss. I don't want to risk being great. The people that say that are so fucking scared to risk anything, you're actually risking your whole fucking life. You're risking everything. Because you're scared to risk anything. You can't be scared of risk. Society tricks you to be scared to take a risk so they can enslave you. So you can go put on a fucking suit and go clock in at their fucking shithole. So you cannot create anything for yourself or the people behind you. Right? Yeah, understood. Yeah, 100%. Trade the trend. I agree with you. Like, fucking 500 and over %. Started trading when he was 11. Positive mindset towards a trade, but understand. Like, I have a positive mind towards all my trades, the trades that are working. Like, I don't put on a trade and say, oh man, I hope this trade fucking goes to shit. I put on a trade, I'm like, I hope this fucking trade goes to 1,000. Right? But let me manage my risk in case. But I still hope this trade goes to 1,000. But if it doesn't go to 1,000, that's fine. I'm just manage my risk in between that. Yeah, trade with the trend. I agree 100%. Bro said he's 18 and he's finna turn 19 in 4 days. Congratulations. Started at Majimbo, started at 17 and he's 19 now. See, these are some of the people that are kind of like smelling the coffee. They're like, wait a second, bitch. Wait, ho. There's some shit going on right here. I smell some shit going on right here. They're like, nah, that's the okie doke. You thought you trying to get me for that okie doke, ain't you, motherfucker? Yeah, y'all was like, wait, there's some shit going on. This is a okie doke, huh? You was like, hold on, y'all, is this an okie doke? They're like, yeah, it's an okie doke. You're like, wait, this is an okie doke? They're like, yeah, it's an okie doke. You're like, wait, you're telling me you know it's an okie doke? They're like, yeah, it's good. You're like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna pass on this whole fucking okie doke thing. I'm good. I'm good. You sure, bud? Yeah, I'm sure. I'm good. All right, great, man. Dr. Stingham, your ass is motherfucking goofy. I'm not smoking no pot, man. What the fuck, dude? Nah, I'm just playing. But no. So the earlier you start, man, the better. The earlier you start trading for yourself and start trying to find a process. But I say this is like trading is about what process you pick and how bad and how good you can execute it. I've already picked a process that's produced millions, at least millions. So I already know if I follow my process, if I follow like the old heads, quote unquote, because I just listen to old heads. If you guys watch my show, like I always open it up with an old head or some successful guy. It's like, yeah, Dr. Stingham, it's like you can pick whatever process you want. But, okay, pick that process, right? Which is basically pick that strategy. Pick that strategy, which is pick that process. Because a strategy is only a process. A strategy is a certain way of buying and selling stocks. It's a process. And trading. And that's all it is. It's a process that you choose to go about to buy and sell stocks. Okay? So whatever process you pick, can you execute it? Can you execute it? This is my question. Can you execute it? A lot of people ain't going to be able to execute it. A lot of people not going to. That's facts. That's why process over proceeds is the key. Because you want to execute the process. You want to learn the process. You want to get the process down packed. Because if I could show you, how do I say this? If I could show you my P&L curve, it's going to show you a process inside of it. And it's going to show you the results of that process. It's going to show if this is his process. If he sticks to this process, watch the P&L curve. Okay? Watch my P&L curve. If I stick to this process, my P&L curve should continue in this motion, so to speak. Later. What does that mean, later? Oh, okay. Alright, Trade with the Trend, bro. Congratulations, man, on taking life by the horns. And I wish you all the success for a young man who's still in his teens to be as great as you wish to be. I hope you make $1 million. And I hope I make $1 million. I hope you make $1 million. I hope Magi makes $1 million. I mean, Majimbo makes $1 million. I wish you young guys a lot. Bull Bear, Trade the Trend, Majimbo, some of you younger guys that are kind of gravitating towards this thing of ours. Gravitating towards La Costa Nostra. La Costa Nostra. Alright? La Costa Nostra from the mobsters meant this thing of ours. When the mobsters were in the mob. And La Costa Nostra meant this thing of ours. Okay? So congratulations to those gentlemen for gravitating towards this thing of ours. This very special thing of ours that if we look at it and we look at certain people, quote unquote, if we follow this thing of ours correctly, it should bring us wealth and take us out of this slavery system, quote unquote. Right? I'm getting a lot of phone calls. People just don't understand the fact that I trade and talk about stocks every Saturday night. Like, what the hell are you calling me for? Are you stupid? You know where I'm at every Saturday night. I'm in here trying to change my life. If you look at my P&L curve right now, it goes uptrend, pull back, higher high, uptrend, pull back, higher high. It looks just like a stock on an uptrend does. Facts. Alright? I feel good, man. You guys come in here and talk to me. Stangum, Rock Solid, what you looking at this week, man? Proper planning, preparation prevents piss poor performance. The 7 P's. Almighty Cali Rock. All is well. With them 7 P's, 5. Man, I got some shit. Anybody that's looking for, you know, I'm always following the best stuff. The most consistent stocks, my opinion. I'm all about as many points as I can get. I'm all about as many points as I can get. I'm all about as many points as I can get. I'm all about it. That's my trading strategy. Buy the trend, ride the trend like a surfer, and take as many points as it's going to give you. It's that fucking simple with me. So, I touched on those 3 main points. I think they were practice your craft, like Bruce Lee. You gotta practice your craft to the point in trading to where you feel so fucking comfortable, like people can't scare you with shit they say. You gotta get so comfortable in your craft to where you look at a stock and its behavior, you're like, I'm good. I know I'm good here. People are like, well, aren't you selling like your whole position? Like, aren't you rattled? You're like, nah. I'm good. I'm solid here. I've seen this okie doke about 100 times. I'm good. I'm long here and strong. Matter of fact, I'm adding on these pullbacks. When everybody else is selling their position, you're buying what they're selling. This is practicing your craft. This is perfecting your craft. Everybody's selling their position on these pullbacks, and I'm buying them. I'm buying your shares. I'm buying your risk. I'm taking your risk on. Because off of my process and off of me following this strategy over a period of time, I am aware that this is just a buying point. You think this is a point where the stock's going to crack and that sell everything, and I know from my process and from me trading that this is just a buying point. Buying pullbacks and long-term uptrends is like a default trade. I heard that from Larry Tintorelli. Successful trend follower. You're not successful until you're trading for a fucking living. Until you're trading for yourself. Until you crack that first $500,000. Until you crack that first $1 million. Until you crack that first $250,000 to $500,000. You're not a success yet. Until you're trading for yourself. Until you tell your boss, kiss my ass, no more slave shit, no more 9 to 5 clocking in bullshit. You're not a successful trader until you're doing that. Until you don't have to rely on someone to cash you a fucking check every fucking week or every other fucking week or whatever the fuck it is. You're not a fucking success until you don't have to rely on the trickery, I call it trickery because that's all it is in my book, to the trickery of this fucking world to pay your bills, to rely on to make a fucking living. Okay? I don't know why people are calling my phone. They know on Saturdays I get in here and we absolutely grind on Saturday nights. It's so annoying. It's like, what are you doing? That shows me why you ain't got shit, why you ain't nowhere, why you headed nowhere. Stop fucking calling me because I'm doing something. What the fuck's wrong with you? Stop calling me. I'm grinding. Alright? Lord Jesus. Don't be a sheep, man. Don't be a sheep. Don't be a fucking sheep. Don't be a sheep. You know what? To be honest, fuck a sheep. It's all about this wolf. It's all about this wolf life. I know somebody's gonna tell on me, one of you little fucking one of you
like the Wolf of Wall Street. Be a wolf. Don't be a sheep.
Yeah, don't be a sheep. But somebody's gonna go tell on us, bro. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, they was in there talking about rebellion and shit. Somebody gonna go tell on us. I'm gonna weed y'all ass out too. They're gonna be like, every weekend those guys from Stocktalk talking about being their own bosses. Yo, I'm gonna weed your ass out, you snitching ass motherfucker. Every time I go in Stocktalk, those guys talk about they just want to rule the world. And fuck all the slave-minded people. Yeah, go tell, pussy. I think I scared all the females out of here from what I did last week, y'all, and I'm sorry about that. Nah, but you gotta look at your process, man, and feel good about it. So I touched on those key points, man. Practicing your craft. Every time I say that, it just gets me all riled up for some reason. Every time I say that, because it's like sends off a big giant light. A light bulb in my head. It's like, wait a second. Practice your craft. Like, what the fuck do you mean by that? What does that mean? Like it means what it fucking means, bro. Look at all the successful traders. You think that they didn't study? Do you think that they didn't, like, make that a fucking art? Fuck do you mean, what does it mean? It ain't like a big trick. Like, when you come deal with me and Stocktalk, all these people in this little tight-knit group we have, like, get rid of all the trickery. There's not going to be any trickery here. It's not like I said something and I really meant this. Like, oh, I got your ass. How I'm like, no, none of that, dude. None of that. People that say something, they're like, oh, you fell for that shit. Like, no, we ain't up on that. Like, if I say something, it's solid. If Stocktalk says something, it's solid. Stangam says something, it's solid. Like I told you guys, same thing I told my daughter. I said, just weigh out people's words. Like, if people, after a while, and you keep weighing out people's shit and it don't have no weight, just stop fucking with them.
Yeah, that's a true story, bro. Real shit.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people's word don't have no weight and you'll just go over it. Like, oh, no, it's cool. I know his word don't got no weight, but it's alright. Like, no, fuck that.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean, Stocktalk?
That's why I be getting so mad. Like, yo, why you getting so mad about these traders? Like, yo, because most of them are full of shit, man. And it's killing us, bro. It's really, we learning from these guys that don't give a shit about us, man. And they just, they're selling us dreams, dude. So, that's why I made the community, man.
Like pimping.
You ain't gotta be around that. You ain't gotta pay for a bunch of shit. You can come in and learn and to work together. That's all I care about.
Facts.
That's it.
And when the $1 million trader pops up out of this forum, this very tight knit forum we have here, it ain't gonna be because Stocktalk made $100,000 off fucking charging 100 people, and I made 50,000 from fucking charging. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not gonna be the case. That's not gonna be the case. When a millionaire trader pops up out of here, it's gonna be because we grinded and because everything that we're dealing with is factual in here. It ain't gonna be like, oh, they're millionaire traders, and you go fucking check their whatever fundamental sheet, and it's like this guy don't even have a meal. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, not that shit. Not that.
Facts, bro. Facts.
Like I always say, like, if you're such a good trader, why you gotta make money off other traders? Why ain't you going to the market for your fucking money? Like, that's the follow the leader mentality. They're like, oh, well, they just overlook shit like that. It's like, well, if he's a solid trader, then why does he need money from you? Why don't he just go to the market and take his money? Like, I go to the market when I want to take money. I go take my shit from the market. I'm not like, let me go line up these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dude. Seriously.
Yeah, man. I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with charging, in my opinion. If you solid, if you transparent, in my opinion. But for the most part, man, it's a rat. Those guys that don't know how to trade, they don't trade with money, or they trade with real small share size. They're not legit. They're not transparent. It's a rat race. They have to chase down people in order to get them to sign up. And I don't want to be. I didn't come to this game to chase people down to sign up with trading net or to make a room to charge people $50 a month. I know I can do damage in this market, man, consistently. So I don't have time for that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't. It's just fuck all that. I can make my money from the market, man. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with it.
I think Rock Solid's the only trader I know that's solid that has something to teach people.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like someone, like for example, the dude is straight up.
He has something to actually teach. Like he has an actual process that you can
Not
fucking
only
learn from.
not only that though. Not only that. I mean, the dude doesn't. He's transparent though.
Yeah, he shows his shit every day.
Every fucking day.
And he'll be like, hey, look, he'll tell people ahead of like, that's how I look at solid people. It's like, if you show me something ahead of time and you're like, okay, we're looking for this, you guys, and then the markets open up and what you were talking about, what you described works out and shows up, then that's all the confirmation you need.
Boom.
What's up, Rock?
What's up? Sorry, I was killing ants in my bathroom.
You got an ant trail.
I had an ant in my bathroom and my wife wouldn't kill it for some damn reason.
Oh. Yeah, no, I was saying earlier too, Stock God and Rock. I said I think this may be one of the handful of places in the fucking world that traders get in every Saturday or whatever weekend night and just grind on basically just stocks. Maybe one of the only places. I know what's his name does something, but I don't know about the weight behind the transparency, the transparency, like the goodness behind it, because motherfuckers be like selling stocks and pumping it like this ain't no pump and dump shit. Like I don't assign with any stock people to pump stocks up on my show. Stock God don't come in here and pump up any fucking stocks. We're not with that bullshit. This is just solid traders getting into a forum and we're just grinding out stock. It's the business.
Yep.
Facts. It's not a pump and dump scam. I remember I was in some rooms and they were like pumping. I think dude was like a pump and dumper. Like he was working with like people that would like hire him to like do shit. I'm like, nah, man, I ain't. What the fuck?
I mean, just like.
Come on, bro.
Just like dude came
Fuck
here
is that?
earlier. Just like dude came here earlier. Our homie Bull Bear, not Bully Bear, but Bull Bear. And no disrespect to Bull Bear, but he was like, yeah, my homie doesn't want to say who he is. Like we don't hide behind nothing,
Yeah.
We straightforward. We making money. We losing. Like that's why I fuck with this family here, man. Like the ones that show up every day or that's dedicated to one thing, that's being consistent in this market. I fuck with y'all, man. There ain't nobody hiding behind. Oh, I don't want to let nobody know, but that's some corny shit. Like we in here getting money, man. We in here, building our brand, making money, and growing, man. And that's what it's about. We all in here, doing our thing. Like you said, pumping dumps. Ain't nobody trying to like start no shit like build up our fan base or whatever, and then try to charge people. Like you'll never hear me doing that fuck shit, man. I don't care about y'all's money. I know what I can do with the market. I don't have time for that shit. I don't need to fucking charge somebody to make some goddamn money. I can make my own fucking money. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. And if we was to have like a forum, I know those guys had like a forum. If we was to have like some type of forum, like I know those guys had a forum in Vegas or Florida or something like that. Like it ain't gonna be like, oh, it's $1,000 to fucking hear Stock God speak. Everyone give your fucking tickets, $500 to hear me. Like it'd be just traders going to enjoy each other's company and hear this and that, shit like we're not scamming people for, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah, and that's what they have to do because
fuck.
They're truly not making money consistently from the market. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with charging people, but they're just it's 99% of people that are charging aren't transparent, man. So it's like, what the fuck are you gonna do? And that's why I was like, you know what? I looked to my left, looked to my right. I was like, fuck this. I'm gonna make my own chat room, man. Like, and I'm glad it's growing. We almost had 1,000 people in there, man. And it's fucking great. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many legit traders in here. It's ridiculous, man. I don't think there's no one fucking with us, man. Like pound for pound, like I don't give a fuck who it is. Tim Sykes, any fucking social media big name. There ain't nobody fucking with this room, man. I could put my money on that. There's so many legit fucking traders right here. That's why I like it. That's why I fucks with this, man. you know, and you know, it's just so much bullshit out there, man. You know, I'm just glad to be around you guys, you know, and